There's a new Halloween film out, Halloween Kills, and I've got a lot to say about it. Following on from the 2018 film Halloween, which completely retconned every Halloween film apart from the first two, the 1978 original and the 1980 sequel, I think it was 1980, Halloween basically carried on the story. It didn't have any of this silly stuff about Michael being almost mythical and almost godlike. It carried on with him being related to Laurie, this time being her sister, being her brother, and it was quite good. Halloween was a good film. It was directed by David Gordon Green, written by Gordon Green and Danny McBride, as well as, I believe, Scott Teems. And it worked really well. It had the thrilling aspect to it. There was some good, gory death sequences. Michael was as villainous as he's always been. And Laurie Strode, played once again by Jamie Lee Curtis, was fantastic. She pulled the film together. It was inevitable that we were going to get a sequel. Originally, the film was always intended to be Halloween and Halloween Kills. But they weren't sure when they were going to do it, and they were waiting on the critical reaction. When the reaction was really good and positive and it made a lot of money, they said, look, we'll do a trilogy. So Halloween Kills was meant to come out last year. Obviously, with the little thing called the pandemic, it came out this year, and now the third one, Halloween Ends, is coming out next year. I'm going to start with the positives of Halloween Kills. Or should I say the positive? The positive is Michael. Michael is awesome. He has an opening scene, an introduction that is just unfucking real. It's brutal. It's one of the best introductions Michael Myers has ever had. It's awesome. I wish the film could have just been that first 7 minutes. It was like the first 10 minutes of Mortal Kombat, the most recent one, the remake. It was fantastic. It was bloody, it was gory, it's everything that you want from a Halloween film. So they're the positives. To be honest, everything else just failed massively. The storyline hindered at every moment. Characters that you're meant to care about getting killed, they have no likability factor whatsoever. It just plodded along. Yes, now they have retconned everything, but at the end of the Halloween 2018 film, Michael gets burnt to death. Like, Michael gets put in a house, gets put in Laurie's house, and the house goes up in flames. And I remember, as at the end scene of the film, the three women are together. Laurie, her daughter, played by Judy Greer, whose name is, I always forget her name, Karen, and Alison, the granddaughter. And it's the idea of the women finally overcoming the evil man. And it was, though on the nose, quite a good ending. And my old brother Ash said to me at the end, do they really need to make a sequel? Like, this is a really good ending. It's been a really good film. They just sour it from now on. Well, at the beginning of this one, Michael survives. Somehow, Michael survives. I have no idea how he makes it out of a burning building. The fire service people come to save the house, and they inadvertently rescue him. He tears through all of them. It is awesome, but it is still completely nonsensical. It's just stupid. And from that moment on, the film just dies. It just keeps getting worse and worse. There's a flashback sequence to 1978 that doesn't work. That retcons Halloween 2. Laurie is stuck in the hospital the whole time. And now it's about the survivors of Michael coming to get revenge. So the likes of Tommy Doyle, the likes of Marion Chambers, Lonnie. I don't really care. The whole idea is they're going to overcome Michael and team up as a huge unit and defeat him. And yet they all separate in different cars. And they all get picked off one by one because it's Michael Myers, you know? And I think that was about 30 minutes in, and it was just sort of head down sort of things of say they've ruined this. Everything that was positive about the 2018 Halloween, they've now ruined in one quick swoop. I mean, how long can they go on with these films? Everything that was great about the first one, the idea that Michael was human and that he was just a psychopath and just crazy, has now been ruined in this one. And it was like rewatching Halloween 4, 5, 6, H2O, Halloween 50, Halloween 500. It was like watching the ones after Halloween 2. It just became a joke, really. The thing with Freddy Krueger and the thing with Jason is these are undead enemies. We know they have almost superpowers. But with Michael, the thing that was always intriguing and chilling about him was he is, at the heart of it, a human being. Yes, he's a 6-year-old boy stuck in a man's body, but he is a human being. In this one, it just goes back to that, he's a superhero. Oh, he's a super villain, should I say. And the way in the first one, they had sort of clearly shown that they loved the original film and they were paying homage to it. In this one, they just picked up on certain things, like Michael looking in the mirror and thinking, maybe that has something to do with why he's so tapped. No, don't do that. You don't need to explain to me why Michael Myers is a serial killer. He just is. I know he is. Just write a better story or just make it about Michael. I don't know. But even the death scenes, apart from that opening awesome intro and a few brutal ones here and there, none of them were chilling. None of them had any suspense. It took away from the whole point of Halloween. It was like watching a Saw film, a later Saw film, just kill, 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 put the death list up. So I don't know what they're going to do with Halloween Ends. I have no idea now what's going to happen with that film. One thing I will say, there is a certain scene, and apologies, it is a minor spoiler. There's a certain scene where a certain character appears, Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence, in the flashback scene. And I was like, is that fucking Donald Pleasence? So it's not. It's a guy called Tom Jones Jr., not related to that Tom Jones. And he is a construction worker who's worked on multiple horror films and multiple films. And basically, everyone he's worked with has been like, you look like Donald Pleasence. So he was originally meant to appear in the 2018 Halloween. Didn't happen for whatever reason because they thought it was a bad idea. For some reason they decided to put him in this one. I wish someone had thought, probably a bad idea. It just felt really shoehorned in. And there was a lot of characters from the original film of Halloween 2 that were just shoehorned in, i.e. Detective, or should I say Officer Brackett. Even, it's like a really bad product placement. Laurie's name is called out. And then someone says Michael Myers, and it goes to Officer Brackett, and he goes, Michael? And it just then cuts to his name, and it's like, Brackett. Oh. At least when I watched Halloween 4, like The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, and so on and so forth, at least when I watched those films, I was a kid, and I could just lose myself in it. With this one, after Halloween 2018 and after the way they built it up and made me think this could be a good series again, to then just shit on it, it was almost like watching the Abrams Star Wars trilogy. You watch Force Awakens and you love it, and then you get Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, you're like, oh shit, you don't know what you're doing. You look like you knew what you were doing because you used the blueprint of the original film, but now you have no idea what you're doing. Halloween Kills, probably give it 1.5 star, and that's for Michael and for Jamie Lee Curtis. That's about it. Also, last thing I'll leave, and this is probably quite harsh, the girl who plays Alison, Laurie's granddaughter, is shit. She is so bad. Don't like her at all. Don't like her at all. That's all I'll say.